And introduce our players down to the southwest corner, his SC2ITL debut from Axiom Esports. It is CranK. And his opponent in the upper right hand corner is going to be the teal Zerg player from Red Bloods. It's HaNfy. Good luck, have fun being called at the start of this game here on Expedition Lost map, CranK's map pick. As he will be looking to perhaps try and close out this series. He has to go up against HaNfy, and then it would be Lillicanon, the final player from Red Bloods. So we will see how this goes as this gateway gets added on at the front of this main base. So a gateway expand to start things off here from CranK in this PVZ. We'll be keeping an eye to see how this goes, what the next step for him will be here in this game. PVZ, so opening might be a bit slow before we see some action, especially with a hatch first coming down. Not going to be any links moving across the map or anything. And probably just moving around here for CranK, and he sees that hatchery first. And we'll just keep on moving around here. Drone coming down to the low ground just to make sure, just to be safe. Another drone as well. And this probe going up to the high ground. And it's kind of just a test of wit. And, you know, it's going to be HaNfy who is going to lose this as he pulls down some drones just in case. And this pylon is almost always worthwhile, because if he cancels it now, it's only 25 minerals lost. And that is 25 minerals lost for all of the mining time on these drones, which is quite a long time in all honesty, as he's probably just going to end up long distance mining from these as well. He's actually going to send one over to the third perhaps? No, he's going to bring it back, so he's still not sure what's going on. He sees the early nexus, which is coming down straight after this gateway from CranK. You know, after seeing the hatchery first, he's basically changed his build a little bit to skip the gases, go straight into that nexus, and then go into this gateway expand from that point. As HaNfy, reading this nicely, sees that early nexus, and will be popping down that third base as well. So, third base down for HaNfy, and he'll be getting that up and rolling. So, strong economic openers from both players. And again, going to be a little while until we really see any crazy action taking place in this game. Shout out to a few guys for hitting the follow button on the Twitch channel, I guess, as we've got a few moments. So shout out to Pavov, QPM5, Simen, and Suku Osu. Thank you guys for hitting the follow button. Glad you're enjoying the show. And yeah, we've got so much SC2 improved content coming your way. You know, actually, right at the start of the Ryung versus Spacey Mazy game, I was about to start talking about the plans for the next couple of weeks on the stream. So basically, the next couple of weeks are a bit weird because I'm actually only here until Wednesday, and then on Thursday I'm off to London. I'm going to be observing Gfinity this coming weekend, so make sure you tune into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some great players: J-Dong, Parting, Rain, MC, Fantasy. There's a lot of great players. Bunny, Snoot, Mana. It's going to be great, and I'm doing the observing for that, so I'm going to be there from Thursday to Sunday, so probably no stream from then, and then probably for the next week as well. Probably not going to be streaming because I'm going to Paris for a few days after London, and then I'm going to be going to the WCS Finals in Poitiers, I can't say it, so but going to be going to the WCS Finals, so the stream's going to be down for a little while, so we might miss a few matches next week. The week after is going to be a break week in the SC2ITL, so we shouldn't miss all too much. But yeah, that's generally the plan for the stream. I'll try and stream a couple of, during those couple of weeks here and there, if possible. But I don't know how realistic that really is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as we have a probe falling back home right now. Forge coming up at the front, and CranK just beginning to wall off as he's cleaning up this overload for HaNfy right now, which has been through for a scout on the main base and has seen this Stargate opening, which is currently about to finish up an Oracle and about to head across the map with that. So Oracle moving across the map here. We'll see what this is able to get up to as again that Forge about to finish, and back at home, I mean, he knows the Oracle is on the way, so HaNfy already preparing with a Spore Crawler or so over at the third base. In the main, just going to rely on the Queens, it seems, for his defense. He's got a third Queen just sat between the main and natural Queen, and that's going to be able to help respond and deal with this Oracle here. So CranK not getting anything done at all with this first Oracle. In fact, great defense by HaNfy so far, and yeah, just going to head on over to the left-hand side now with this Oracle and try and get some damage at the third, but not going to risk it. Doesn't want to lose too much damage, too much health, and just wants to try and keep this Oracle alive, because the longer you keep your Oracle alive, the more useful it will be. Kind of unsurprisingly, but it is a useful unit to keep alive throughout the game, especially with the kind of third base which has been taken here by CranK. You know, he's going to wall in this cannon, but because he is basically only got this Oracle out right now, his whole early game defense is basically going to be orientated around this Oracle, helping out against Zerglings. So he really needs to keep this alive in case any Zerglings are made, and you know, it is quite common to see 20 or so Zerglings made to move across the map and try and force a cancel when that third base starts to come up, and if that was the case, that Oracle would become so useful right now. And that's not to say that because those Zerglings haven't been made that the Oracle is useless. It still has a lot of map control for the Protoss player. It still allows you to just throughout the game, you know, drop them revelations, even a bit of detection as well, and it kind of reduces your need for as many observers. You're probably still going to want to sneak a couple of observers in, but it reduces the need a lot if you keep it alive and you keep active with it, because you can continuously move around, continuously scout what's in the main base, see what tech is coming in. And talking about what tech is coming in, double melee upgrades coming in for HaNfy, so going to go for a very upgrade heavy style, and this generally tends to mean he's going to be playing with a lot of Zerglings early on, obviously, but looking for a fairly fast tech in towards the Hive and Ultralisks. So that's probably going to be kind of the main game plan here, I feel, from our Zerg player. As this game starts up, as CranK starts to research charge, and that's something you don't see every day, and maybe that is a reaction to what he scouted with the Oracle, the double evolution chamber, with a lack of Rotron or anything else. Could very well be. I mean, usually you see Blink, but you know, against Mass Ling, Zealots are going to be very useful, much more useful than Stalkers. And I guess Charge, I guess Charge isn't something we've seen in PvZ, but it will help, I guess. Chase down a couple of Zerglings or so, we shall see. As Infestation Pit and Aspire starting up at the same time, back at home for HaNfy, so the opportunity to go into the Hive, an Ultralisk if he wants, and also the Spire coming in and gives him a couple of options as well, as we actually have 2 Oracles now, so CranK making a second Oracle in this game, and picks up his first couple of worker kills with these Oracles for now as well, so has some nice vision as well with that revelation, just keeping an eye in this main base. He sees that Infestation Pit building. Did he see that Spire? Well, he will do now with this. Oh, no way, the Hallucinated Phoenix just misses it. So CranK missing a little bit of extra information there, as Templar Archives now on the way. And I guess we're going to see him try and deal with this kind of composition with just kind of mass Zealot Archon. But we have Swarm Hosts being made from HaNfy, and it's just because it's going to be kind of Zerg and Swarm Host, so this is going to be very interesting kind of clash of compositions here between these two players. Now, this could very well just be something from Protoss players we've seen recently that I've missed in the meta, or I've just not seen some games with it. So if anyone in the chat has seen something like this before, I would love to know more about it, because it's definitely something you don't see every day. Kind of a lot of Zealots here, a couple of Archons, and I'm really intrigued to see how it fares against these these Swarm Hosts, because there's not going to be many Swarm Hosts to begin with, and the Zerglings which are there to tank for the Swarm Hosts, they're not going to be amazing early on in this game either, well, at all, against this composition, because there's so many Zealots. There's the Archons as well will add a little bit of extra splash. And where is he going to try and go? There's a few Zerglings actually getting caught on the wrong side of the rocks there, as he starts to make his way through these rocks, but it will take a little while. Only a few of those Zealots able to attack at a time, as the Oracle's moving into the main, and Revelation coming down on a couple of Swarm Hosts, a couple more Archons being morphed in, but they get found by some Zerglings in the back here. But even still, I mean, look how good Archons do against Zerglings. 2 Archons doing a pretty good job there, as these Zealots will continue to swipe their way through, as finally makes his way through this these back rocks, and well, just too many Locusts waiting to greet him. The Overseer flying around, and no Contaminate from that just yet, doesn't quite have the energy, but is just continuing to scout, see what CranK is up to. And losing them 2 Archons, I mean, is definitely a shame. I mean, he would much rather, if he had 2 Archons to this, it really adds so much. It's kind of like double his, his real splash power. I mean, Zealots are great, they're going to do a lot of damage, but in the long run, you kind of want them Archons for the splash, I assume, against the Zerglings, and I imagine that's what they are for. As we do have a set of Zealots moving over to this left-hand side. Swarm Host is going to reposition over here, and them Locusts are going to start moving forwards, but CranK probably does have the opportunity to move up towards this 4th base, which is relatively undefended. Apparently to this right-hand side, warping in more Zealots once again, as these Zealots actually do turn around and start working away against these Zerglings, but everything moving back over to the right, and this is a bit of a mistake right now from HaNfy, although that being said, he is just about going to deal with these two over here, so not too much of an issue. A lot of Spinecores in this main base, and CranK not really able to find a way to get anything done just yet. And yeah, I mean, absolutely no damage done here at all, just trading against Spinecores, which isn't all too useful. As he sorts up his own 4th Nexus now, he did make double Robo Facility, or just a single Robo Facility, sorry, because of course he didn't have one to begin with. So now adding a second one, and he does have a Robo Bay down, so he's starting to go into Colossi, but how long can he really delay for in this game? How long can he really keep HaNfy busy for while he builds up his Colossi count, because there's no way he can fight in this game until he gets a Colossus count of kind of, 4+ Colossi. Some Zerglings continue to move around, clean that pylons. We have Zelds coming in towards this main base, and this 4th base looking as though it's going to go down here as well, so kind of HaNfy getting pulled apart a little bit here, starting to kind of get caught out and into a bit of a, pulled into some weird positions, and now starting to lose a lot of drones. Losing that 4th base as well is not great, but coming in with a lot of Zerglings. Can he get anything done on this 4th base of CranK? I just think these Zealots are way too good, and you can see they're trading so efficiently against these Zerglings that they're not going to be able to cancel the 4th base here at all, and more drones continue to go down in the main. These Zealots just continuing to pick away at this, as this main army chased away by the Locusts, and they might be able to actually pick off an Archon, which is a really nice pick off here at least. So getting something for his efforts, as we actually have a bunch of Mutalisks on the map, and wow, that's something I completely missed in the production tab. So that Spire coming into use now, as HaNfy switches into some Mutalisks, and this becomes very interesting. He's trading very well against these initial Stalkers, and there isn't really that much anti-air for CranK at all, and this could very well have just been a reaction to what he saw, what HaNfy saw earlier on here. So CranK just dealt a lot of damage to HaNfy, but now HaNfy is starting to return the favour, and there isn't enough anti-air here in this natural expansion, and this addition of Mutalisks is absolutely huge right now. More and more being added on as we continue to see Zealots try and run by, but they keep running into waves of Locusts, as this small army is going to try and move towards the 3rd base as well, but Locusts on the way, and they're going to get in position in plenty of time. As a weird situation here, is CranK going to try and trade with these Stalkers, but without Blink, what is he really going to be able to do? I'm not too sure. I don't think he's going to do anything at all. Over here, this small army gets dealt with as well, and HaNfy feels as though he's got enough map control to take the central gold base. He's going to take down every single probe here, and I think CranK just, the thing is, the Mutas were the perfect counter to what CranK was doing, and CranK was doing something, something we just don't usually see. It was very unique, it was very different. But he kind of got, I think HaNfy has dealt with it very well, whether he played against something like this before, or if he's just been playing like on the fly, and realizing there's not much anti-air, Mutas could do great here. Whatever it was, he's made the right decisions, and CranK, down on 40 supply, is unfortunately going to be knocked out of this game here, and that's going to even up this series. 2 games apiece in this best of 7 between AxiomAcer and Redblood. So Redblood's really bringing it to AxiomAcer, and GG call 2-2.